Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow. Hey guys, and welcome to my new movie review for M. Night Shyamalan's new movie called Old. Far out. Before I continue on and say anything further, I just want to do the heads up about something. Now, I actually really value this actor, and the reason why I won't mention her at all in my review, or I'm going to talk about it in depth is actually Amber Davids. Now, the reason why I'm actually not going to go too far into talking about her is because her character is technically a spoiler at the end of this film. Just letting you know now. So for those of you who have been following my channel for any period of time, it's so good to have you here. I really appreciate you clicking this link. Thank you so much. Seriously, you guys are amazing. And those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for clicking this link. I appreciate it so much. And while you're here, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and leave a thumbs up on this review. Thanks guys for doing that. You guys are great. Now, for anyone who's been following my channel for any period of time, or if you're new to my channel, what I do in my movie reviews is I drop my introduction, I give you the director, the characters, the synopsis, and all that sort of stuff. So without further ado, guys, let's roll. First off, we have Gal Garcia Bernal. We also have Vicky Creeps. Also, Thomasin McKenzie. And Rufus Sewell with Abby Lee. With Alex Wolff. And Eliza Scanlon. Directed by M. Night Shyamalan, who also directed films such as The Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, Signs, Lady in the Water, After Earth, Glass, Split, and now, of course, Old. PG 2021. Drama Mystery Thriller. Old. Synopsis. A thriller about a family on a tropical holiday who discover that the secluded beach where they are relaxing for a few hours is somehow causing them to age rapidly, reducing their entire lives into a single day. Far out, guys. M. Night Shyamalan has done it again. Far out. One of the things I want to talk about this film before I go into it in depth is I can understand the audience's slight frustration in the camera editing in this movie. I get it. For those of you who have seen this movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. And those of you who haven't seen this movie yet, but you're going to go see it after I talk about this on my review right now, I want to talk about this. The camera editing in this movie is something very, very unique that M. Night Shyamalan and the camera, photographers and stuff like that, the cinematographers have really specifically and very, very intentionally done something. The reason why they've done this is very obvious because the ocean is that way and the cliffs are that way. So realistically, the beach is down that way and the beach is down that way. So they really, really had to use the scope and the scale of the characters' settings of where they actually stood in reference to the film to really get the audience like, is it that way or are we looking that way or are we looking that way or are we looking that way? It really was like that, and that's not bad at all. This movie really, really, really is one of the movies in my caliber to every degree imaginable. This movie is my cup of tea, 1000%. For those of you who are new to my channel, I actually do not do. Thank you, M&M people. I really appreciate it. I don't do spoilers in my movie review at all, guys. You won't get spoilers from me, guys, because in my personal opinion, spoilers aren't fair. They're just not. And if you want to get spoiled, just go and watch a spoiler review. This movie has one sequence right towards the end of the film where I got told it was a gore scene. It's not gore. There's a woman in this film, and at the end of the movie, something happens to her physicality, and it's contorted. That's the only scene in this movie, besides one other scene, that's really graphically evident. Other than that, this movie isn't visually disgusting. This movie relies on the cast chemistry between each other and for each other's development throughout the storyline of where this movie actually takes it. And it is executed magnificently. I thought that the way that the camera's angling on some of the shots that they got with some of the character chemistry and the orchestration of how it was put together was totally perfected. Now, when you see this movie, you'll understand the pattern of how each individual character has their moment of execution to do with the storyline of how we actually evolve to why it has to happen to the end of the film, if that makes sense, without spoiling anything. So they don't just go, you, this is going to happen, like that. They actually slowly unravel it over the course of the duration of the film. And it is so well plotted out like that. It is absolutely amazing. Another thing I want to talk about just really quickly, guys, is M. Night Shyamalan actually has a cameo in this movie like he does in most of his movies. But this one specifically, I really liked his cameo. I really liked his character in this movie. It's at the beginning and then he comes in at the end, and his character in this movie is very vital to the storyline of the movie. Far out, guys. This is absolutely my cup of tea, and I really mean that. This movie really does have, in its core element, its essential thing in its DNA, the thing that film needs to go back, to be rewatched months, days, years later, and not because of the fact of us as an audience member. We know what's going to happen. We see what's going to happen when you've watched the film already. But it's so well executed that it gives us, and what I like to call, in my personal opinion, guys, and those of you who have been following me for any period of time, you'll know exactly what I'm about to say here. 3, 2, 1. Say it with me, guys. That's right. Rewatchability. Old definitely has rewatchability. 1,000%. Oh my gosh. I don't even need to ask you that question, guys. It has rewatchability in spades. I loved the fact that what M. Night Shyamalan did is, with the scripting of certain characters, they gave them this plot point here at the start of the film, and then they drove it along, and that plot point became the outcome to that plot point. And it was so unbelievably executed brilliantly. I kid you not, in any way, shape, or form, guys. This film is definitely a thriller. The things that happen to certain characters, the way it unfolds is so unbelievably, incredibly clever. The way that the characters interact with each other and really feed off each other's intensity, and it just doesn't slow down, it doesn't stop, and it just drives the movie forward constantly. There are times in this movie where you just feel heartbroken about what has just unfolded in front of us. There are times in this movie where you're watching it and you're like, whoa, wow, that really did change in such a drastic way, but so slowly and so paced and just step by step by step. This movie is definitely a must watch, and I really mean that. Oh my gosh, do I mean that. This is 1,000% a must watch, guys. Seriously. So I'm going to wrap this movie review up, guys, and I appreciate your time. But before I do, guys, it's my treat to give you guys just a little bit of icing on the cake. And what I like to give you guys is trivia at the end of my movie reviews. So guys, without further ado, guys, it's trivia time.
Is an adaptation of the 2010 graphic novel written by Pierre-Oscar Levy and the artist Frederick Peters called Sandcastle. When asked what inspired him to adapt the book to a film, director M. Night Shyamalan explained, "The book gave me the opportunity to work through a lot of anxiety I had around death and aging and things like my parents getting older." This will be the first M. Night Shyamalan film to be shot on 35mm film stock since The Last Airbender 2010. All his projects since have been shot digitally. Director M. Night Shyamalan said the subject matter of the film, in which a group of people find themselves trapped in an isolated beach with a deadly phenomenon, mirrored the experience of being in lockdown and the uncertainty of a carnivorous pandemic, adding, "It was strange. We were all making a film that had nothing to do with the pandemic, but at the same time, it was absolutely about the fear of uncertainty. We were all feeling this fear of infection. It made us think very deeply about death, about survival, and about being in lockdown. This idea of being in a situation and not being able to leave." Plot details are shrouded in secrecy and can be interconnected to other films. According to Collider, the new movie is inspired by French graphic novel Sandcastle by Pierre-Oscar Levy and the artist Frederick Peters, with the plot set in motion when a deadly body is discovered on a beach, singularly some unnatural going on. Old marks the first time director M. Night Shyamalan has filmed entirely outside Greater Philadelphia since his first film, Praying with Anger, 1992. Filmed in 2020 during the height of the global carnivorous pandemic, cast and crew had to be tested daily for potential infections. Director M. Night Shyamalan said the production, the main priority was to keep everyone safe and well, despite all of us living and working together over a period of months. Nobody became sick, which was fantastic. The director shared the first poster of the film on the 26th of September 2020 and revealed the movie will be titled Old. Before production, director M. Night Shyamalan screened 2 films for the cast and crew, which were said to be big influences on the style and tone that he wanted for Old. The first was Walkabout 1971, directed by Nicholas Roeg. The second was Panic at Hanging Rock 1975, directed by Peter Weir. Shyamalan described them as the stories about men being struggling against the overwhelming power of nature. Films were nature because something mysterious, overwhelming, and almost supernatural. This is M. Night Shyamalan's second adaptation following The Last Airbender 2010.
So there you have it, guys. I appreciate your time. What did you guys think of the trivia? It's pretty amazing at what they experienced through filming this movie. Guys, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your time more than anything. Seriously, please take care of yourselves, and don't forget who's bringing this movie review for Old. This is Superman Steve, appreciating you guys always and loving your time. Flying out!